Thank you for joining us for an overview of the Loss Prevention Fund. This session will provide insight into key aspects of the fund, including eligibility criteria, the application and review process, and some commonly funded projects. We'll also share a conversation with the prior winner and her experience with the fund. This program was established in 2019 and provides funds through reimbursement for the purchase of risk management and loss prevention products and services. The goal of the program is to help our members complete projects that will help prevent losses, improve the life safety of residents, enhance risk management programs in housing, or improve your organization's cybersecurity. Each year, HAI Group's Board of Directors reviews the financial strength of the company and decides on the amount of money to set aside for the fund. The fund is currently approved for $2 million. Organizations that are limited members of HAI Inc. are eligible to apply. These are members of Housing Authority Risk Retention Group and Housing Authority Property Insurance. The awarding of the funds is not tied to your insurance policy in any way. Even if you apply and then cancel your policy but opt to remain a member of HAI Inc., you are still eligible. Please reach out if you have a question on your organization's membership status. Projects must have an aspect of risk management to be considered. This means that the project must prevent or mitigate losses such as fires, slip, trips, or falls, security concerns, or property damage, to name a few. You can submit an application for a project you plan to complete or something that you have already completed, as long as it was completed after March 1st of the prior year. And you may submit an application for any amount up to the fund maximum. The fund will open on March 1st, and you will have until May 31st to submit your application. We won't be able to accept any application after that May 31st deadline. Some of the commonly selected projects over the past few years include fire suppression canisters, installing hardwired smoke and carbon monoxide detectors, replacing or upgrading fire alarm systems, replacing faulty circuit breaker equipment, upgrades to security surveillance systems, and repairing walking surfaces. So let's talk about how you apply for the fund. You can access the application by logging into our website, haigroup.com. If you don't have a login, you may select Register Now to create one. This process does take additional time since our IT team will need to approve your login access. Therefore, we highly recommend registering well before that May 31st deadline to ensure you'll have access to apply to the fund. If you already have a login but don't remember your password, you may select the Reset Password option. Once logged in, you'll see the Loss Prevention Fund application listed on the right-hand side of the page. Click Learn More to view the application. The application is also accessible through the Risk Management Center, which is outlined here in red. You will then be taken to the landing page with the fillable application. Please note that only one application can be submitted per housing authority. Cybersecurity-related projects have a slightly different application, so here's where you'll select if your submission is cyber-related. Again, only one submission per housing authority, so if you choose to submit a cybersecurity project, you cannot also submit a project under the standard application. We have a frequently asked questions document that provides some more detail into the fund. We also have a Microsoft Word copy of the application to download. This can be used if you'll be collaborating with others at your agency, or if you're unable to complete the application in one sitting. You can work off the Word document and then copy and paste your responses into the online application. Keep in mind, we do need all submissions electronically submitted through this form. The Word document is simply there for your convenience. Now let's examine the various sections of the application. You'll be asked to provide your contact information. However, this will be removed before the submission undergoes review. We advise against including identifying information in the application. We do make efforts to redact as much information as possible before the review process begins. Under the project scope is where you'll define your project and its target problem, highlighting the benefits it offers to your agency or the community. Supporting evidence and data such as loss histories or agency record keeping should be provided whenever possible to demonstrate the project's necessity. For cybersecurity projects, you can explain how the initiative will enhance your agency's cybersecurity practices to help qualify for cybersecurity coverage. You'll also need to specify measurable goals and objectives for the project, outlining the intended outcomes and how they'll improve your organization's risk profile. Under the budget section, you'll be asked to state the total amount requested and provide a detailed breakdown of expenses supported by receipts, invoices, contracts, or any other relevant documentation. The application will ask for you to present a cost-benefit analysis to show that the project's benefits outweigh its costs and is therefore worth the investment. For cybersecurity projects, not only will we be looking for an impact on preventing losses, but we'll also be looking for the project to use the most up-to-date technology and also ensuring that the applicant has the expertise to implement the project or it's being done by a qualified cybersecurity expert. The application will also ask you to outline the timeline of activities required to complete the project, and also addressing any potential obstacles and how you will overcome them. For sustainable benefits, you'll need to explain how the project will be sustained beyond the initial funding period. For cybersecurity projects specifically, we aim for at least an additional 3 years, and also would like to see plans for maintaining the project with software and technology updates. Participation in the Preventable Loss Management Program is something that is considered as part of the application, and I'll speak on this on the next slide. Then lastly, there will be an area for providing any additional supporting documentation. Participation in the PLM program is a factor in the evaluation process. Fully participating in PLM will give your agency the opportunity to earn up to 15 points in your application. For those that may not be familiar with this program, you'll work with your risk consultant and they'll develop a customized risk management plan for your agency based on your loss experience and your current risk programs. Your plan may involve items such as training, policy development or enhancement, or documented property inspections. One thing to note, you must have actively participated in PLM for the year prior to the application to receive the allotted points. How are these applications reviewed? All applications are redacted and then provided to the risk control and consulting team. Using a set scoring matrix out of a total possible 100 points, the team reviews each application. A list of the topics found in the scoring matrix is on this slide. Please note that the evidence of need and the projected impact and cost-benefit analysis have the potential to make up almost half of your application's points, so please be sure to provide ample information in these areas. We do consider if your agency has already received funds in prior years. However, you are still allowed to submit an application. The reviewer won't know this information during their evaluation. It's something that will be incorporated into the scoring after the fact. The top applications making it through to the next round are then reviewed by the insurance leadership team. They use the same process to review the applications and select the winners. They also decide how the funds will be distributed. They can choose to either partially or fully fund projects. Applications for cybersecurity projects are reviewed in the same manner by our IT experts. However, some adjustments were made to the scoring matrix to allocate more weight to the sustainable benefits piece, making this area the same in regards to possible points as the projected impact of the project. You have 2 years from the date you are told that you have been selected to complete your project and request your reimbursement. If you have already completed your project, you can request funds the next day. A reimbursement request form must be completed. You'll also have to provide proper documentation of the project completion and payment. This can include signed contracts, endorsed checks, paid invoices, and photos of completed work. We also reserve the right to request a virtual inspection as part of this process to confirm completion. Reimbursement requests may be completed in phases as long as evidence of payments have been provided. All reimbursement checks will be made out to the housing organization. No payments will be made directly to vendors. Our Risk Control Director, Elizabeth Owens, sat down with a prior Loss Prevention Fund winner to chat about her experience with the program. Take a look at our interview.
it was so simple. It's probably the simplest application you will ever come across to fill out to get money for anything, ever, honestly.
I'm really glad that you did say that, though, because that was, one of the objectives and one of the biggest things that we did hear in feedback from people was, we apply for these grants and they just take hours and hours, and it's just so stressful for, the housing authorities to fill these out. We heard from people that actually hired out other people, to complete the grants. And that was our biggest feedback, I think. And our takeaway was, we don't want this to be a very lengthy process that is a struggle for everyone to apply to. So I do appreciate you saying that, because that was one of the main goals around the program. Why do you think your application was selected?
Well, several reasons, honestly. I think some of it was because our project was aimed at mitigating liability and risks associated with claims that we've had, as well as potential inadequate security claims, which have been on the rise for housing authorities lately. And it checked a lot of the boxes of what you guys were looking for as well. It's going to help to prevent losses, and it's going to improve the life safety of our residents as well. And it also enhances our risk management program too. Plus, it probably didn't hurt that in the cost benefit section of it, we were able to use HAI as an example for how it was going to be cost effective. Due to our uncharacteristically high amount of claims that we've been having to put in lately, including the arson fire that I mentioned, we were able to project a potential savings and reduction of those potential claims within 6 months of project completion for HAI if we were fully funded. We initially put in for about $240,000, and we were funded at $88,000, a little bit more than that, which was, it was 37% approximately of what we applied for, which it's a very significant amount of money that we were being reimbursed for. These cameras are also going to potentially reduce any potential claims of break-ins and nuisance claims like that. We were able to have that kind of analysis in there, and the types of things that you were asking for in the application, it was relatively simple for us to be able to provide that kind of fact-based analysis in there.
Even if you don't have claims or loss history, you can just look to the industry as well, and just see, what are some losses that are on the rise. Like you mentioned, the inadequate security, which has been a huge one for us. We're been really, really focusing on how can we assist with those security type claims going forward in the future. So that's definitely an area to focus on when you're trying to decide what type of project to do.
Right. And we also were able to provide data from our Syracuse City Police Department. They provide, they call it comp stat. I don't know what they would call it in other areas. Maybe it's the same, maybe it's not. But they provide data on the types of calls and everything that they've been responding to, broken down by neighborhood. And so we did have that kind of data in there as well, based on the neighborhoods where our properties are located.
That's a great tip as well, to work with your local authorities to get some of the data necessary for the application. Perfect. I know for your account, you guys are also participating in the preventable loss management plan. If you could just speak a little bit to your experience with that plan.
It's meant to help to try to prevent these things. And it's, again, I'm not trying to diminish it by any means, but it's simple. It's not difficult at all. It's been easy. There's a website you go to and it's like a survey. You literally check yes or no. And if there's additional information provided, you type it in. One of the questions was, do you have any preventative measures in place to prevent cooking fires? And they give a list of examples of the auto outs or smart burners or any of the other things. And for us, we have smart burners installed in some of our properties. So I selected yes, and I had add a comment or note, whatever the option is. And I said that we have smart burners, and boom, done. I put the date in and I did it. There's a couple more other questions in there too that we have to answer, but it's like I said, it's not difficult.
So once you found out that your application was selected, which is that's like my favorite day here is when I get to make those phone calls to people and let them know that they've been selected. What are kind of the next steps and how did you go about receiving the funds?
And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm getting good news from the insurance company for this. Yeah, I heard back from you with the proper paperwork and everything, official paperwork, I guess, to tell me the exact dollar amount that we won and the paperwork that was going to be needed to set up the reimbursement process. And unfortunately, we were already moving forward. Thank goodness, because of supply chain issues. It's already caused delays. If we had to wait for the approval of us getting this award, we probably would be a lot further behind in the project we are. So after I let everybody know, then I got the paperwork from you in the mail saying how to go move forward with it. And then I think it was just a couple months after that I was submitting paperwork to you for reimbursement, partial reimbursement.
I hope you found that conversation helpful. Please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions on the Loss Prevention Fund. In addition to myself, you may also contact our Risk Control Director, Elizabeth Owens, or our Program Assistant, Debbie Seidel. Thank you and have a great day.